Okay, hello everyone. My name is Andrey, and I'm a CTO and a co-founder of AdGuard. AdGuard is a popular content blocking tool, and we make software like for any device and I don't know, for everything. And our purpose is to block all kinds of ads and trackers. And this time, I would like to tell you more about our DNS-based product that is called AdGuard Home. Just one thing to note before we start is that I don't have any slides, and I will try to do everything right now in real time. I did have a test run, and everything worked okay. Hopefully, I will not fail miserably, and I will show you everything. So AdGuard Home is basically a private DNS server that you can install and you can configure in your own home network, for instance, and control your own devices, what they do, what domains they connect, and you can forbid them to connect to some domains, for instance, to block tracking. This is one type of setup. However, there's another type of setup which AdGuard Home allows and which I personally use. And this is to set up a public server with AdGuard Home and have all your DNS, have all your devices use this public server and use Encrypt DNS. Obviously, because, well, it makes no sense to have a public server with a plain DNS. So now I will show you how easy it is to set up a simple encrypted DNS server and have everything under control. So I will use a couple of services. You are not obliged to use them all. You can use any other hosting instead of DigitalOcean. So right now I'm creating a server on DigitalOcean. But anyway, whichever server you use, you can easily install AdGuard Home there. So right now I'm creating a Debian server, which I will use to install AdGuard Home. Then the second thing that we need to have a public encrypted DNS server is a domain name. This I have already done. I have already registered a domain name. I used GoDaddy, but again, you can use whatever domain register of your choice. So, well, we're close. We're close to being ready. And once we point our domain to this new server IP, we will be good to go. So here it is. We have a server, we have a domain name, but we don't have a DNS server yet. Let's do it. Just a moment. I need to switch to the terminal and show you some magic. So hopefully our DNS server is ready. Yeah, it is. And now, in just a couple of minutes, we will have AdGuard Home running there and, well, ready to be used. Yep. Almost there. Then just a single command, and we're here. AdGuard Home is ready. As you can see, this is its address. We will connect there. Oh, switched. And take a look at its interface. So we arrived. Let's set it up. First, we choose some general settings. The defaults are okay. Then we set up an admin account. Hey, it's ready. And that's it. So we have an AdGuard Home server. Now you remember that we have a domain name for it. So why do we use an IP address? Let's use a domain name. Oh, so that's how it looks like. We have a dashboard where you can take a look at some DNS queries that clients send you. For instance, let me send a simple query so that you could feel it better. Here it is. That's me sending some queries. And you can choose what to do with them. You can choose what to do with the clients. You can choose what to do with individual queries. For instance, I just blocked example.org. It doesn't work anymore. You can choose different block lists and choose what to block. Basically, by default, we use just a single block list, which is casual, user-friendly. But, well, you might go extreme. You might want to block everything or something like that. The problem is, at this point, is that DNS traffic is not encrypted. And you can configure your devices to use a public DNS server, but in this case, third parties will see your DNS queries, and I think that's not what you would like to not the thing that you would like to do. So what we need to do is encrypt DNS queries. And this is rather easy to do, and well, I will do it in a minute. Let me show you. First of all, we already have a domain name. Now we just need to obtain a TLS certificate for it. For that, I will need to use Let's Encrypt, and I will need to use some additional tools. I prefer to use Lega. Just note that I will, of course, delete these IP keys once the presentation is finished. So no worries here. Once we have the IP keys, we will use this nice little script that I just wrote today, and obtain a TLS certificate for our new AdGuard Home instance. Okay, we're almost good to go. First of all, we probably want to use a script for GoDaddy, since this is the servers that I used to register the domain name. And, well, in a minute, we will have a TLS certificate, and we will be able to use DNS over HTTPS, DNS over TLS, or DNS over QUIC. By the way, AdGuard Home can also work as a DNS crypt server or as a DNS crypt client, for that matters. But, well, it is a little bit easier to configure TLS. And meanwhile, just believe me, this script will finish in a moment, and it will succeed. Meanwhile, let me show you how it looks like in AdGuard Home. So here's we can configure encryption, and in order to do that, we just need to enter the domain name and path to the new certificate and to its key. Here it's done. And finally, we can use that domain name. Login again. And that's it. We have a DO server, and it has been done in just like a couple of minutes, and it's ready to be used. Now the question is how to use it. Fortunately, most of the modern operating systems support DNS encryption natively. And to demonstrate it and to demonstrate how it works, I will use Android. So here you probably can see an Android device. Let's take it. Let's go to settings. Hey, please work. Please don't fail miserably. That's normal. That's not normal. Okay. And now you probably see that it's not as easy as I thought in the beginning. Now we arrived to the miserable part. Okay, never mind. Let's use a different way. Since Android fails me, we will just use the command line. Okay, I really thought that Android would work okay, but well, who knew? Instead of using an Android, let's use some simple but reliable command line util that can send a simple DNS query, and that will be okay for us, at least for these demonstrations. Hopefully, if you use an Android, it works better for you than it works for me. What is it? Not a good day. I'm sorry for these technical troubles. Of course I can. No problem. Does AdGuard server work using only implementing a filtered DNS? That's what I would love to show if only Android didn't fail me. So AdGuard server, AdGuard Home is basically a filtered DNS solution, and its main task is to be a filtering DNS server. So in the future, we might add more options, not just filtered DNS, but at this point, we focus more on DNS. The second question is, thanks so much for AdGuard Home, big fan. Any thoughts on clustering configure applications so we can have high availability? We have a feature request, a rather old one, and it's upvoted by tons of people. And we do keep this in mind when we when currently AdGuard Home is undergoing a huge refactoring, and once it's finished, I think we will be finally ready for clustering and config replication. At least we refactor the code with this point in our mind. And finally, can you show us the logs again? Okay, I do. Actually, just one thing to show you. Since Android doesn't work, I will change it a little bit. I will be sending some DNS queries from my own computer, and I will show you how it looks like. So first of all, in order to send a DNS query, I will need to use one of these encrypted DNS addresses. So let's see. I will send a query for example, com, so that you could take a look at the query log. AdGuard Home shows that the query was received over DNS over HTTPS. It shows my IP address. Oh my, well, who knew? And it shows the upstream server the DNS query was forwarded to. Now, if I choose to block it, and let's take another look, you will see that the query is blocked, and you will see that the query is blocked by some custom filtering rule. But there's one more trick that I would like to show you, and I will need just a minute for that. You see, since we configured a wildcard certificate, and since we added a wildcard record here in my DNS panel, we can use not just the main domain name. We can use a subdomain for our queries. Let's use some subdomain and see what it looks like. So now, if you take a look at the dashboard, you will see that there's another client that is called test. That's because I use a subdomain that looks like this. If you see my, you can see it in the address bar. The point of this is that you can configure your devices to use different subdomains, and this way you can identify them, and moreover, you can configure them more flexibly. So you can, for instance, tell AdGuard Home to apply to block adult websites for this client, and it will work. Let's see. I will try to query some popular adult website. Okay, and it's blocked. And again, we can see why it's blocked, and we can see the client that made the request. And well, that's kind of it. What defenses does AdGuard Home have against DNS poisoning attacks? That's you mean cache poisoning attacks? That's a bit of a. You see, DNS AdGuard Home is a DNS forwarder. Let me think just a moment. As I recall, we at AdGuard Home ignore addresses from. I might be wrong on the DNS poisoning attack, but oh, sorry. Yeah. Thank you very much for having me here, and sorry for technical troubles. have a good day. I will be answering the questions on Discord.